Jimmy here from Levity Vans, where we turn cargo vans into adventure vehicles. One of the questions we get asked a lot is, what van should I get? People are calling in and they're interested in Vanlife, obviously, because it's awesome, but there are so many options. So I wanted to break it down for you a little bit. So we noticed that when we work on low roof vans, it's a backbreaker. We don't like to do it, and we don't want to travel on low roof vans either. So we are really a fan of high roof vans. So for this video, we're only going to be talking about high roof options. Things to consider before you buy your van. First one is pretty obvious, the budget. Next one is the wheelbase. We have height, the width, the drivetrain, the fuel, and repairability. First thing we're going to talk about is the budget. The Promaster comes in at the lowest, starting at around $36,000 with optional features that aren't quite as extensive as the other two vans. I think you can get swivel seats, you can get crew windows and a couple other things, but it's pretty minimal as far as how expensive you can make the Promaster if you get all the options. The Transit comes in next at just over $40,000. Several more features on the Transit as far as adaptive cruise control. You can get the nice large screen and the better stereo system. It also comes with all-wheel drive and a lot of backup camera. A lot of options you can get with the Transit. And then the Sprinter, which starts at just over $50,000, you have even more options, like the 360-degree bird's eye view camera, and also the adaptive speed control. And you can also get factory vented windows that are actually really nice quality directly from Mercedes. Obviously, once you add on all of these features, the cost of the van goes up quite extensively. If you get all the features in a Sprinter, for instance, you might be paying around $75,000 or $80,000. Let's go check out the wheelbase now. So we have three different wheelbases for each of the vehicles that we're talking about. The Promaster comes with a 136, a 159, and a 159 extended. The Transit comes in a 130, a 148, and a 148 extended. And the Sprinter comes with a 144, a 170, or a 170 extended. But we don't really care about the wheelbase. We really care about the actual usability of the cargo space of the van. So the Promaster with the 136 wheelbase has 8 feet, or a little under 9 feet. 8 feet 10 inches is what we have for the interior length of the shortest Promaster. The one that we often use is a 159, which is 10.5 feet. And the Promaster, or the 159 extended, is 11 feet and 8 inches. The Transit cargo spaces are 8'10", 10'4", and 12'10". The Sprinter comes in at 10'3", 13 feet 9 inches, and 15 feet. Let's check out what it looks like inside though. Cool. So welcome to a 170 Sprinter. This one obviously is a work in progress, but I wanted to tell you about the workable height. So just to give you reference, I am 6'2", and I have about an inch above my head. We have about 3/4 of an inch of a floor and a 1/4 inch for the ceiling, which is going to come down ever so slightly with a piece of 1/8 inch foam and fabric. But just to give you an idea, I'm 6'2", I can still walk comfortably, even stepping off of my toes inside of this van. Feels pretty similar in the Promaster, the Transit, the medium height ceiling. I'm hitting my head at this point. I have to slouch in order to do anything. And the high roof, I have about 4.5 inches above my head after it's finished. The Transit actually does concave a little bit. So as you get to the edge, it gets much closer to your head than if you're in the center. So when you're thinking about the design of your van, it's nice to keep things along the side and use your walking, or use the aisle like in the center for walking if you're a taller person. Also for the width, if you notice, your wingspan's supposed to be your height, 6'2". I do have a 6'2" wingspan also. We're not even close to the height, so if you wanted to sleep sideways in here, that'd be very challenging. So I did want to bring up the idea of flares. So we're in a 170 Sprinter now. The 144 looks a little different in here, but usually behind the wheel well or above the wheel well, we can add pop out. It's kind of like putting windows in, but it pops out the outside of your van. In a Sprinter, it actually gives you 79 inches if you get the extended depth flare on the driver's side and regular on the passenger side. So that's almost a queen size bed is 80 inches, almost a queen size bed. It's pretty awesome. So in the Sprinter, we actually have 69 inches, which is 5'9" of width, or at around your sleeping area, which is usually down at this level. Further up you go, the thinner or the shorter your bed gets if you're sleeping sideways. So the width in the Sprinter and the Transits are the same at 69 inches. The Transits are a little more vertical at the top, so they don't come in quite as much like the Sprinter does. And then the Promaster, another benefit of the Promaster is the width from side to side at your sleeping level. You actually have 6 feet of width after it's paneled. And when I talk about paneling, there are a couple different ways. I just want to mention this really quick. Some people are putting up furring strips and then screwing their panels into those furring strips. I've never done that before, and mainly because space is really a concern inside of a small area. So if you put up furring strips, it brings in your sidewalls. I mean, if you're using 3/4 inch furring strips on each side, brings in your sidewalls 1.5 inches, brings your ceiling down 3/4 of an inch, really makes the space considerably smaller. So when I'm talking about the width of the Sprinter at 5'9" inches, that's the wood directly up against the metal. We use rib nuts and machine screws that hold the panels in. The Promaster has 6 feet side to side where your bed is at, with the panels directly against the metal. If you put in flares, again, you can get about the length of a queen size bed. So let's talk about drivetrain. Since we're under a Sprinter, we might as well start there. The Sprinter is rear wheel drive, usually, but also comes in 4-wheel drive. We're 2021 right now, and next year they're talking about coming out with a new type of 4-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive version. The Promaster is front-wheel drive only, so there's no all-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive options there. Also, just to note, there is between the rear wheels of the Promaster, there's a bar that connects them that is about 7 inches off the ground, so clearance is an issue. However, only being front wheel drive, the engine is straight over the front wheels, so you do have quite a bit of traction, and without any heavy duty dirt tires, we have gone up some pretty sketchy hills in that thing. So I've been really impressed with our Promaster and front wheel drive. Also in the snow, we have put cables on several times now, and the traction is great in that thing. The Transit comes in 3 different options. Rear wheel drive with a limited slip differential, which can help you with a little bit of traction, but if you need the most, it also has all-wheel drive, which I've been hearing some pretty good stuff about from my customers. Now let's talk about fuel and repairability. The Promaster now comes in gas only. Anything after 2015, you cannot get in diesel anymore. The Transit comes in gas only as well. They were supposed to release a diesel version in 2021. Because of the pandemic, that did not come to fruition. Although we may be seeing an electric version of the Transit later this year. The Sprinter also comes in gas or diesel. The Sprinters are definitely the most expensive to repair. You're gonna have to go to a big city and go to either a dealership or a mechanic certified to work on Mercedes vehicles. With a Promaster or a Transit, you can pretty much go to any mechanic and they can work on your van. Really hope you guys enjoyed the video about the types of vans that we convert and the types of vans that are available. And really a lot of the opinions that I have are personal preferences, and for you, they may differ. And the best way to find out is go to a dealership and test drive a van. Go on Instagram, do some research. There's millions of videos and pictures of all types of conversions out there, and they get pretty creative. So do some research, test drive some vans, figure out what works for you, and hopefully we can help you out at your next adventure. We are Levity Vans. My name is Jimmy. We're in Santa Cruz, California, and adventure awaits.